You're practicing mindful breathing, you've created your safe place, and you're observing and describing your thoughts and feelings, one mindfully. You've been using the distress tolerance skills to increase your ability to manage the different parts of your personality that are getting activated in your system by emotional stressors like fear, sadness, guilt, and shame. You're working on removing the rigidity that's connected to your childhood schema through the skills of emotion regulation, and you're actually beginning to feel the benefits of living the life you want to live, being the person that you want to be in those areas of life that are important to you every single day. Your communication skills are improving through the use of Dear Man, Give, and Fast. And when you plan ahead to build mastery, following that positive communication formula, your relationships are actually starting to get stronger. At the same time, there's still some people in your life that, for reasons you just can't seem to put your finger on, you're finding it really difficult to accept their behaviours, and at times it's even challenging for you to occupy the same space as them. The only option you have at times like this is to understand what it means to set a healthy boundary. If you've been following the process of developing your use of the DBT skills when they're integrated with the evidence-based philosophies of schema therapy, you've probably heard me say time and time again, everything we do at the Liberation Place is fundamentally lined up with living the life you want to live according to your true, authentic values and beliefs in those areas of life that are important to you right now. Values and beliefs are at the core of everything we do. When we're not living a values-based life, there's a high probability that we're blended with a part of our personality that's reacting to the activation of some kind of childhood schema. The modes of behaviour that these parts are using are basically designed to keep us away from those difficult and uncomfortable emotional experiences. In actuality, they usually keep us trapped in things like sadness, loneliness, guilt, and shame, which are often the very same emotions they were fearfully trying to avoid in the first place. Guilt and shame are emotions that are in our system to help us stay in line with living a values-based life. Understanding our values, and more importantly, the beliefs we have about their manifestation in our behavioural activities, is how we build connection with others too. In fact, finding our tribe is all about finding people that we can relate to because we all have similar beliefs. At a primal brain level, finding our tribe is a matter of survival. If we don't feel like we belong, like we're accepted, like we're heard and understood and wanted, we fall into a fear-based system. Then we automatically start scrambling around, trying to find the safety of connection to others by whatever means necessary. If we didn't internalize this sense of belonging and attachment during our early childhood years, then we go seeking a tribe to fit in with as soon as we possibly can. We do this to try and meet our unmet childhood needs. Sometimes this means we find ourselves falling into a tribe that may not be in line with how we actually want to live our lives. Compromising our values on a daily basis leaves us sitting in the emotional experiences that we usually have the most difficult time with. When we step into living the life we want to live, it's important to surround ourselves with the right type of support. People who hold the same core values and similar beliefs about the way those values show up in their behaviours. Just because we decide we're going to live this new recovery lifestyle doesn't mean that everyone around us is going to do the same thing too. If we want to keep in line with our true authentic self, this usually means we have to set some boundaries with people, which can be an incredibly difficult thing for many of us to do. Now, if you haven't figured it out yet, setting boundaries revolves around our true authentic values and beliefs. If I'm participating in activities in an area of life that's really important for me, I have a way of being that's absolutely necessary for me to maintain so I can be the person I want to be. I also have a standard that I'm subconsciously setting for the people around me to live up to, which, as long as this standard isn't tied to an unrealistic expectation, is what it takes for them to be a part of my tribe. When people compromise this way of being, they're compromising my values and beliefs. Therefore, they're crossing one of my boundaries. For example, with the core values of honesty and integrity, I might have the true authentic belief that people shouldn't steal from others in order to maintain these particular values. Then someone that I'm connected with takes something that doesn't belong to them and offers it to me for sale. It's at this point in time I'm in a little bit of a predicament. On the one hand, there are parts of my personality that are lining up with my true, authentic values and beliefs. These are the healthy adult parts of my personality that are connected to my wise mind. They're telling me that I shouldn't take this thing and that I need to say no so I don't compromise my values. On the other side of things, there are parts of me that are reacting to my schema of entitlement, trying to convince me that it's okay. These parts exist in my system, connected to my emotion mind. They're wrapped up in impulsive and undisciplined behaviours that are fueled by this sense of entitlement that was learned as a protection mechanism at a really early age. Without the skills of DBT, I blend with the entitled parts in my personality and take the thing that I'm being offered. With the skills of DBT, and when I'm living the life I want to live, I set a healthy boundary and walk away with my values and beliefs intact. Now, I'm pretty sure that there may be those of you that are watching this video that think, man, you're a sucker. You should have taken that thing. It was a really great price and nobody would have known it was stolen anyway. If this is you and it's your authentic way of seeing the situation, there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's not about beliefs being right or wrong, good or bad, as each individual will have different points of view based on their true, authentic core beliefs. It's about whether or not these beliefs line up with who you want to be, or is it just an automatic reaction to an activated schema that will eventually leave you sitting in an emotional experience that you then escape from in those maladaptive ways. Basically, if your beliefs and the behaviors that go with them are effective for you to be the person you want to be in the areas of life that are important to you, then don't change a thing. If they're not, then it might be worth looking at setting some boundaries with people, and sometimes even with ourselves, to help us live the life we want to live. Boundaries are not just set with other people. In fact, for me, most of the time, the boundaries that I need to set with myself and the different parts of my personality that are reacting to the active schema that's in my system. It's also true that setting boundaries doesn't have to be done with words every single time. It's often the case that we can set a boundary with our actions just as effectively as we can with our words. Stepping away from a relationship for a short period of time while we build our ability to accept the way things are is always an option we can take up within the boundary setting world. However, there are times when we have no choice but to discuss the reasons we've decided to add a particular limitation to the relationship dynamic. It's at times like this we need to call upon all of the skills we're learning in the DBT skills training program. Knowing what our objective is, creating a script, and rehearsing the conversation over and over again will support us in achieving the desired outcome. At the same time, we can never 100% predict the direction another person might take our request. Sometimes we have to be direct with our verbal communication of the particular boundary that we're trying to set. This doesn't mean we get aggressive and start yelling and screaming at people, trying to force them to comply, nor does it mean that we become passive-aggressive, communicating indirectly with sarcastic comments, then claiming we were just joking when challenged on the meaning of our words. Direct communication when setting boundaries can be incredibly effective when using something called if-then statements. And it's important to learn the process we use to make this style of communication effective so it can meet our current objectives. In the PDF at the bottom of the website page that's connected to this video, you're going to find a worksheet that's designed to help you create a narrative or a script that you can rehearse when you need to engage in these difficult conversations. Remember, it's essential that you include the other skills of DBT interpersonal effectiveness in this process. So make sure that you practice these skills, and then when you think you've practiced them enough, practice them some more. If you've got an opinion on this or anything else to do with the integration of DBT and schema therapy, please leave a comment in the chat. I'd love to hear your point of view. If you want to know more, come join the live online meetings that I facilitate each week on Zoom. I'll leave some links to those groups in the description below. And as always, if you like the content of this video, please subscribe to the channel, smash that like button, and turn on those notifications to get all the latest from me and the Liberation Place. I hope this video gave you some ideas on how boundary building can help you to create the healthy adult relationships that you really want in your life. Thanks for watching. See you again soon. Take care, be safe, and be well.